Did you know, I have a fact for you right here. I'm going to read it so I don't like mess this up because I don't want to skip anything in this fact. Did you know that women make up the majority of people living in poverty globally? And running parallel to that, according to the U.S. Small Business Association, this is crazy. Check this out. Around 30% of women-owned businesses close within the first 5 years of opening. And so these challenges are not just impacting women alone, they are impacting full communities. And so, guess what though? Today, I have my partners in lifting other sisters here in the studio with me because they will continue to do the most amazing things to lift other women through funding opportunities by providing professional development, not just for women, but for girls in our community. And the impact is growing to a national reach. So welcome back to Who's in Your Contacts. As you all know, I have We help women and girls to achieve economic self-sufficiency by breaking down barriers to success through equitable philanthropy and collaborative community partnerships.
Yep, transformational.
Equitable community, incredible, all of the things. And we're going to get into that and what that means. So I was on the board first. An opportunity came up for me to become interim for a small moment before going back to LSK. Well, here I am 5 years later. Here I am loving it, and it's the best thing. It's the best thing ever, and a joy. And a part of that joy is working with some incredible board members and staff over the years. And so I have the honor of working with, who I have in this studio, Sid and Audrey, who is our current board chair, Sydney Bell, and our vice chair, Audrey Wackerman.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. I don't know. So before I get into it, let's, as you all know, I have the I Love You segment. After the I Love You segment, I have them talk about more about themselves. Usually I would do introductions, but it's a family affair over here. It's like when you have somebody for the first time on, like in your house, you go to the fridge for them. This time it's like, no, you know where the fridge is. So you could do that. Like you got
It's a great
this.
analogy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, we're skipping intros. They could go right into it. So the I Love You segment. So, gosh, where's the napkins? Where's the... okay, here we go. Audrey Wackerman.
Hello, Crystal Alice.
Hello there, Porter. So the reason why I love you, so the I Love You segment is just what it is. The reason why I love you is because you are a protector. You understand people, places, and things so well. You fight hard for what you love and who you love. It is the honor of a lifetime that God made it so that I get to meet you. The Women's Foundation came at a perfect time, and so did you. And so the world that I think the world is incomplete without like a Audrey Wackerman. Shout out to all the Audreys out there, but Audrey Wackerman is it, bro. So you can't have her. We already got her. Get your own Audrey Wackerman. I don't know how you're gonna do that. Cloning, is that a thing? All right, thinking bubble. But Audrey, I love you so much, and you mean the world to me. Sid Bell, the Sidinator.
Yeah, I'll keep that.
Yeah.
Sid, man, we have been in the trenches together. we dream together. I love watching you think. I really love watching you think, because what comes from your mind is just brilliance, but it also pushes against the status quo every time. And you're like, well, let's do it. And we did some great things. And for the audience, Sid is the founder of our immersive grant writing program for women of color. And so a fact is that organizations led by individuals of color and underrepresented groups go grossly underfunded. This is not something that we made up. This is facts and statistics that you can find. And so her thought was, why don't we just create like a grant writing program to help these women learn how to write grants? When she said it to me, I was like, say less. Mm-hmm. And here we are 2 years later, 33 graduates, about to be 37 graduates, and they have raised a total of $7 million. $7 million. So we don't talk about it, we're about it. All right. Y'all ready to get into the convo? All right, you know what, friends? Just tell the people who you are, because the people need to know who you are. So I'm gonna settle in. Watch, you're about to hear all the greatness. Okay, let me just stop because I can't. I'm excited. So tell the folks who you are.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. Okay, so Audrey Wackerman, a fearless protector. No, I'm just kidding.
For going
Yes, exactly. 5 years later. I'm by day, I'm a benefits consultant for USI Insurance Services. So really functionally in my day-to-day job, I really like to help people. Healthcare is a pretty fractured and broken system in the United States. And so I get to help navigate some of those challenges. But in my personal life, I'm a working mother, professional wife. I mean, several identities there, sister.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what drew me to the Women's Foundation and our work was really looking at it in a different way. Like, how can you give back? And conceptually, I've always felt that we should be compelled once we have some definition of success, right? Because that's different for everybody. But this compelling way of giving back to other people, right? So you lift your sister, you climb that corporate ladder, and you turn around and make sure that you put your hand out for the person behind you. And that concept's not lost on me. While it's not the only part of my identity, but I was raised by a single mom, always felt really not a unique, but a certainly like a formidable part of my journey. And so making sure that, other women that come after me, I'm the mother of a daughter, those types of things.
The coolest
you feel, you feel that energy, right? And you feel this call to action. And the Women's Foundation is just where I was able to make all of those things happen for me. Yeah. Checking boxes in some ways of like what you need when you start to give back to your community, right? We all kind of kiss some frogs, I think, in this quest for philanthropy. And what are the missions that are going to kind of call to our heart, our pocketbooks, all of those things. And the Women's Foundation was where I found a home and a sisterhood for that.
For sure, Aziz.
Yeah, that's so well said. And I would just +1 all of that. So I am full-time. I serve as one of the co-directors of the Our Local History Project, which I just absolutely love. And I came to that through diversity, equity, and inclusion work and adult education across the board, and community building just at a core level. And I get to work with a really, really incredible team. And the way I made my way to the Women's Foundation, I think it's, as you were talking, I was like, I think this is like my longest serving philanthropic relationship, honestly. And I've really grown so much because of the work that the Women's Foundation does with and for the community. I agree with everything that was said around just how we show up as an organization, as individuals within this community, and really understanding by listening to our community how we can best serve women and girls across our community. And so my way in was through the grant making work that that we've done historically for the length of our existence. And as you said, finding more and different and better ways to serve our community through grant making. And the transformational partnerships piece is what historically just brings me back and centers the way that I show up in this work, because it is friendship, it is sisterhood, it is community building, and it is a requirement, if you are involved with us, to understand what it means to work collaboratively together. And I've been hearing this phrase a lot lately, is that if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. And I think that 100% is what the Women's Foundation has always been about. And it's our opportunity and responsibility to figure out how do we best do that year after year after year. And that requires listening, learning, and adjusting to hold ourselves accountable. So I'm really proud of the work that we get to do together.
So proud. For those out there, we have 32 years of sisterhood going on. At the inception, a number of women and organizations got together to create an endowment fund so that each year we're able to provide grant dollars to local nonprofits and organizations who exist to help women and girls. We are a very unique foundation because while our endowment is assigned only for grant making, we do have a programmatic arm where we have to fundraise for. So we are 3, and our board and everyone out there, our volunteers are out here fundraising for us. And the part of the programs that we have is we have an immersive grant writing program where we're teaching women how to fundraise for their organizations, how to write grants and all that jazz. We also have a number of professional development opportunities, and as they come up through the year, we share them out and they're well attended. The crown jewel of our nonprofit is our Girls Initiative, and that has taken on many forms over the years, but it has been consistent in the age group of the girls that we serve, ages 12 through 19. This year, for the past couple of years, we have here's a few of the programs that we have, okay? So there is a professional development day where we have partnered with the local Golisano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship, where I am a proud associate faculty member. And they go there for a full day and they learn about how to negotiate their salaries, how to use AI responsibly. What does it mean to have business etiquette? There's just so many things that when I led with that statistic at the beginning, when you don't have that information, you're kind of behind the 8 ball. And what we are doing is equipping girls with the information they need, not to survive, but also to thrive. We also have a young women's group, a young girls group, and they show up to our location about 3 times a month. We teach them about business investments, real estate. You're never too young to buy an apartment building. We talk about houses. Yeah, buy a house, and that's great. But what about buying an apartment building? We work with some great law enforcement organizations. One, the New York State Police, where they go out to the barracks. They learn, hey, well, did you know that being a state trooper is not sitting at the side of the road and waiting for someone to zip on by? You could be in forensics. You could be a nurse. All of these really cool things. We also host the largest girls conference, and I'm saying it with my chest. We also host the largest girls conference, because I researched this out, in New York State. Come on. We're just doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So we attract so many girls from around the greater Rochester area, and it is a conference. It's not like here's a cute little piece of paper and here a speaker. Full day, breakout sessions, keynote speaker. What else do we have?
Art therapy, social emotional learning, financial wellness.
all of the things. What's all dance party, a DJ at the end, community folks coming in to talk about what they have to offer, extracurricular activities. And we also care so much about all girls and just all girls. And so we also have a tract for our girlies who are neurospicy, because we believe that they should be not at the side of the conversation, but equally in the conversation. So we do open the doors to our neurospicy girlies, one of which is my daughter. So we are here for all women. So we're doing all the things. So while we're out here giving out money, funding organizations, helping all the women and girls, we talked about this sisterhood that we have built. Do you believe that sisterhood comes second, or does service come first in this work?
Wow. It's a good
I know.
Oh my God.
I'll let you take this one first.
Does sisterhood come second, or does service come first?
Or is it a both and?
I was going to say, I live in the both and.
Yeah.
That is my home base, is the both and.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to choose, because I really think that they by nature of being within this sisterhood, you are being of service. Mm-hmm. You are showing up for each other. You are participating actively. And I just read this quote from Priya Parker, who wrote my favorite book, The Art of Gathering. Mm-hmm. And you know,
yes.
You both know I love that book.
We know each other.
Shout out.
Love it.
Sid knows how to throw a party.
Yeah.
Facts.
Just one a year. But she talks about how sometimes gathering is inconvenient. Sometimes showing up is inconvenient. And that is super true. And also, we still do it. And it's not so we can get it back. It's because it's within us to gather. It's within us to create this bond across the folks that we're connected to. So I do think it's a both and. I think that it is hard at times. We all have had our own fair share of personal stuff that has made it hard to be in spaces sometimes. But that grace given and that ability to continue to show up, even just in voice, if we're not able to physically be in spaces, we know that service runs deep throughout how we show up and how we operate. So both and for me.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think that there is this dynamic of service with accountability, right? And in so many things, in so many calls to action for, I wouldn't say that women's journey is specifically unique, but there are often multiple roles that we are coexisting in at any given moment, which may be elevated and a little bit different from our male counterparts, right? You're often, working a full-time job, a primary caregiver. Sometimes you're a permanent house cleaner and a chef and a fashion icon. And, there's all these the identities that women have to have. Mm-hmm. And then we're also called to serve in a different way. Yeah. And so how do you show up for people in an authentic way? While you are having this shared goal, right? When you join a philanthropic effort, when you join a board, right? The idea is that you're paired together in this hopefully cohesive movement forward, yes. Right? Whether you showed up in a different way, right? There was something about the mission that called to you that mm-hmm. was different than maybe what called to me, or different mm-hmm. than what called to you. But we come together, and how you build family is being authentic. How you build sisterhood is through that shared journey and service, but in the same grace that Sid referenced, right? So we show up for each other. We deal with some of the same challenges that I think day-to-day families and friendships deal with. There are days where oh gosh, I came at you hard, or you mm-hmm. know what, I didn't leave that at the door. Mm-hmm. Did I stop to hear you and what you said and what you meant different? And I think the unique thing about what we've created at the foundation is those moments to all stop and pause for each other, yes. but to also cheer for each other too. Yeah. So it's a yes, both for me too. Yeah.
We've developed this trust, and so how has that trust for you all, how has that translated into us evolving in our programs and providing what our women and girls need? Because we're different all when you think about every member of the board, we're very different, the same in love, and we're multi-generational. And yet we are creating solutions and funding solutions for our community. Does trust play a role in evolution of a nonprofit or of a business?
I would say that it's probably the most important thing. It certainly plays a role. I don't think that trust was an overnight experience, right?
Talk about it. Give it to them. We here.
Having served on the board for a number of years, you kind of ride the tides and you see highs and lows of different organizations. And I think the people that stick with it, recognize that there's a shared goal here, right? Sometimes you got to walk through the fire to kind of get to the other side of the thing. And so I don't think that that didn't happen overnight. I think that there was a shared recognition of some of the external factors, right? You have to say the thing before you can move through the thing.
Ooh, say that to the camera.
You have to say the thing so you can move through the thing.
Come on.
And it's not this fun little comfortable experience, right? Our board retreats for several years were spent really digging in and understanding, implicit and explicit biases. We all come from different walks of life. We all share and hear and learn in different ways. But we have a commonality in that trust and love, right? So that's where, if you start with that as a foundation, no pun intended,
I like it.
Yeah, pun intended. That's where I think we were able to build with each other.
Yeah.
And so that has come more organically as a foundation. It's something that we're more easily able to communicate to newer directors and incoming volunteers.
For sure.
But it is something that is thread through every facet of this organization. And so, we have employees like yourself and our girl Jasmine, our rock star, right?
Jasmine! Shout
out. And you have a brethren of volunteers and participants and clients.
Come
and
on.
it's the same thing. We couldn't be authentic in our board meetings and not have it thread through every piece of what we do.
Yeah.
I'd agree with everything.
There are folks who, all right, so they know that we love each other. All right. If you haven't gotten that so far, I don't know what you've been watching, but we really do love each other. There are women right now who want to give back in a bigger way, and they want to create these nonprofits so that they can go out and get grant funding and do all of the amazing things for their community. The way how we got started is by some generous women coming together, giving their time and treasure to start an endowment so that we can still be sitting here 32 years later. If you were to start a nonprofit right now with all the nonprofit knowledge that you have, what would you say to someone who is looking to start right now?
I'd say find the right partners. You got to start with the right team. And like you said, the women that came together to create this endowment, there had to be, speaking about trust, there had to be this underlying and hopefully voiced alignment of what that group was really looking to accomplish in our area. And I would say that is like key. Your team members are your key number one priority. And so I would look for other people who are looking to accomplish the same thing I am through mission, through the work, through how you show up in spaces, how you build trust with your community before you just dive in, where you see who else is already doing this work. Because we are really rich in community builders in this area. And I think that is the most helpful first step, is to really understand who's already out there doing it, who's doing it really well, and what do they need from me as a community member, and how do I show up and bring people maybe into the fold that I'm working on, or maybe I join a thing that's already in existence and really bring my strengths to that space and understand what the strengths are in the room, to really understand each other, listen clearly, and understand the needs of the community by asking and listening and participating before I go and jump. I think that is really clear on how you begin a thing and earn trust from the community that you're looking to serve.
I love that, listening and then moving into that participation, becoming one with your community, because it's like, yeah, I want to do this business or whatever I want to do, and then you go out and do it and it's like doo-doo, because ain't nobody asked for that.
Right. We see it all the time. We see it all the
Nobody asked for
time.
that.
Right. It's like, what would you want to be asked before someone just goes and does a thing? I think we all want that as an effort to, again, build trust, listen, learn, understand, adjust as needed. But we all deserve that. We all deserve to be asked for what we need versus someone just making an assumption and going for it, because I'm sure they're right some of the time, but more often it really serves us to take a step to listen first.
Yeah, that splatter gun approach, I feel like, doesn't apply in all things, right?
Yeah.
You throw enough things at the wall, something sticks.
Yeah.
And without the right team identifying your stakeholders and really getting their participation in it, it's all for naught, right?
Right.
Without that.
So, Audrey, you live in the area of risk when it comes to the type of work that you do in insurance. And what would you say to someone, again, who's wanting to go into nonprofit work or even for-profit, because it applies for you? What are some of the risks that they should assess before starting the next big thing?
I think with any, bigger life decision, right? There's that internal and external reflection. So it's a little bit of what Sid just talked about when we think about, how do you build the people and the team around you? But it's also assessing kind of like, where do you want that to go, right? As I think about, risk, there are some unique challenges certainly to the nonprofit space that our for-profit counterparts don't have to deal with, right? There's this concept of, funding in particular, right? And right now we live in a space where, everyone's fighting for the same dollars and the pot just got a little bit smaller, right? Whereas our for-profit counterparts have the ability, I love the word widget, right? But like our for-profit people can look at it and say, okay, things cost a little bit more. We have to make more widgets, or we have to do, different things, and margin and retention and these business terms kind of get thrown around. Those things exist for nonprofits, but the bucket of money doesn't rain from the sky, right? And so, when we talk about risk, you have to talk about the strategic partnerships. You have to make sure that what you're doing is both unique in the sense that someone else isn't doing it. You have to make sure that it's needed, right? Yeah. Like, because I could decide that I want to have a nonprofit for X, Y, and Z, and then people could be like, well, that's not really a problem. Like, I love your heart in
Nail
this moment.
polish for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And that, like, are you the best people equipped to do that job?
Ooh, okay, now
right?
we're getting into it.
Because I think that that's a fair thing, too, is that, there can be a lot of, there's a compelling piece of giving back, but I don't know how to say this delicately. There's a lot of people that get this, like, angel concept, like saviorism concept in nonprofits of, I have this and so I want to save this. But like, did you save anybody, right? And it becomes that concept of like teaching a person to fish versus giving them a fish. You know what I mean? Yes. I don't know what that adage is, but like that's the concept there. So that was a lot, but I think that the root of what I'm trying to say is that the risks are a little bit different. I think it's very important that you figure out who your stakeholders are what you looking to do? Is that truly needed? And did you ask the people that you're looking to help if that's the thing that they needed at the end of the day?
For sure. One thing that I've learned also in starting a business and helping other people to start business, and also being involved in the Women's Foundation, is the importance of strategic planning. do a SWOT analysis on your business, on your potential business, knowing what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your opportunities are, what your threats are. Survey the land and see what's out there, in adding to knowing the people that you serve, going out and being in the community. Be real about how much this thing cost and where to start. So how do you map out scaling? So you may not be the person who starts off with $1 million, but you may start off with $10,000 or even $5,000, and that is still a huge chunk of money. And how do you spend that well, and how do you steward that well? Which means that you may have to, when you create your board, you're going to have an accountant on the board. You're going to have someone in insurance. You're going to have someone who is well connected in the community, a business owner, and also people who are looking to not only give their time, but also their treasure to fund that mission as well, so I see that so many times. It's just like these efforts, you go out and do it, and it's such a great cause, but it falls flat because, again, the foundation wasn't built to begin with. And as women, I believe that we have to get comfortable, and many of us are, having this conversation around money.
Yeah. I think that there's this concept that you brought up that, like, there's the make sure you're ready, but there's this eagerness too, right? Like, we get so excited to do the thing that you just talked about. You're going to need the right people around you. You're going to need the team, but be intentional, right? I think far too often we see people get so goal-oriented or so end result-oriented that the strategic plan gets lost in the doing, right? Like, we're moving through it.
Yeah.
And they check boxes, right? They're like, okay, done. Well, I know an attorney, I'll get them on the board. Or I know an accountant, I'll get them on the board. But are they the right people for you?
Come on.
Did you surround yourself with the right people? Do they believe in your mission? Do they have the bandwidth for your mission? And are you either overvaluing or undervaluing yourself and what you bring to the table as part of that too?
Yeah. Absolutely. And clarity, like just clarity in all aspects of that work. Are you going to be a thoughtful steward of that money? So when you're talking about money and like what's starting up and how you're doing it, like what does stewardship of those dollars really look like? Are you mapping all of that out? And we've been the beneficiaries of your excellent strategic planning for the foundation and thinking about how do we really be excellent stewards of this money, which falls into how we do our grant making. And does it line up with our mission? And is it going to really be successful because of the way that someone is kind of mapping out how they want to use those grant dollars? And that's not always like the fun stuff. That's not always the fun stuff that you dig into, but that's where, again, like Audrey said, like having the right partners around you who are aligned in every single one of the ways that you mentioned makes a huge difference. And not just like how the work shakes out, but what the doing actually feels like, and where there is, even when there's tension, you're moving in the same direction. There's alignment in the work that you're looking to accomplish, and that makes all the difference in that end result.
Sure. You, Sid, are the funding and fairness guru.
Me?
Hey, you. Can you talk about our grant making process and what we fund? So if there are folks who are looking for funding in the greater Rochester area, I mean, we're your people, and so we would love to tell you about how you could get some of those cha-ching dollars.
Yes. Yeah, this has been like, this has been like focus for us for a while now. Obviously, the work that we do is the foundation and our grant making work, but really understanding, again, what does our community need from us? So the work that we did around our mission and our alignment to that mission over the last several years really informed the way that we ended up doing our grant making and making sure that those things all work together to bring that mission to life. And so what you're talking about right from the jump around our mission being around supporting self-sufficiency and really supporting women and how they make money, how they support themselves and their family, how they support their ability to find whatever education makes sense for them in their lives, and through equitable philanthropy and transformational partnership. So those are really the big key things that we're looking for when it comes to how we look at grant applications, is how do all of those things line up? How are the folks that are applying for that money going to really serve in line with those mission points? And how are they going to be stewards of the dollars that they're asking for? So what is the realisticness of being able to do what they say they're going to do in the time frame that they've got? So we go on a yearly basis. So within a year, you're looking to bring those grant dollars in and do a program within a scope that lives within our mission. And so that's what we're looking at when we look at grant applications, is how likely is that? And, I got real process driven, especially when it comes to fairness. Because like Audrey said, like, bias sneaks into every single thing that we do in every aspect. And so the more we can root out that bias, the more likely we are to be as fair as possible and make sure that we are understanding of when that bias might be swinging our decision making. So we've been really intentional in our process to make sure that we are having honest conversations as a board and as a grant making committee, where if it feels like we're heading down a biased path because of our own lived experiences, because of maybe past relationships, whatever it might be, it sneaks in all these really underlying ways that we have enough trust in the space to pull that out and say, hey, I feel like we're heading, can you explain what you meant by that? Can you share a little bit more about your decision making here in alignment with the form that we have that helps kind of like do the grant making process alongside our own discussion around it. And that's been a really enlightening process for us. I'm excited to continue to work on it. Audrey was also on the grant making committee this year with us. And so it's been a really good process, I think, for us to learn together and also see the incredible programming that this community wants to bring to life in support of women and girls across the greater Rochester area. So it's been really hugely helpful in so many ways. I'm really thrilled with how it's going, and I'm excited to just continue to listen to the community, hear what is and isn't working, and make those adjustments as much as we can.
Well, and shout out, right? Like, I think the name of this podcast is Who's in Your Contacts. So know that, like, the three of us, right? The three of us sit here in this space together talking about, if you're listening and wondering, like, am I the right fit for the foundation? Ask. Call us. Yeah. Call this.
Call me
and guess
on
what?
Your cell phone.
Yes. And guess what? Yes. And chances are, if you're not a fit, we can find someone who is.
Yes.
Right? 100%. This community, you have success in small ways, and some of those things are just being connectors of people, right? Making sure that, like, oh, you know what? I got you. Right? Like, and so much of this work happens in that very organic space of being like, oh, I didn't know you did that. And so someone today is going to be listening and be like, I didn't know Crystal was at the Women's Foundation. and the list of things that she does.
She everywhere.
And there's going to be something that happens. I love these half a degree of separation stories that come out of Rochester, right? Like, if anyone's not familiar with that, it's a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? Where the man's been in so many movies that you can probably within 6 moves get to a movie of a common denominator. But it's a half a degree of separation in Rochester, where you find out that, like, oh, you know this, and everyone's been at those events, those friends gatherings, those family gatherings, and gone, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we ended up here together. The same works in the nonprofit space. So if you're listening to this in any capacity and have questions, concerns, or you want any thoughts, like, know that you just pick up the phone. And someone's going to be in Crystal's contacts to help you out.
100%. We'll be there to help you. Talking about who's in your contacts, just this morning we had an event called Meet the Funders. And with our grant writing program, what we do is we introduce those women who are in our grant writing program to funders in our community. We don't have all the money for everyone across the globe, right? But again, to Audrey's point, we will find someone who can help you if you're in the greater Rochester area. A matter of fact, like, I don't know, if somebody calls me, I'll probably Google somebody to help you in Texas somewhere. Like, that's kind of like, that's how we rock out, because we really care and we love hard.
Yeah.
Speaking of loving hard, if you have a story that you want to share about one of your most moving moments here at the Women's Foundation, we have been like on a trajectory like this. I think two of my favorite moments was when we had our immersive grant writing program graduation last year, which was full of happy tears.
So many tears.
So many happy tears. Shout out to LA Inc., Emmy Burrell, for being one of the facilitators for the grant writing program. If you're looking for someone to teach you how to write grants and has an amazing program, call Emmy Burrell, LA Inc. Publishing. So while we were at graduation, one of the ladies stood up and said this program, this certificate of graduation, meant more to her than her master's degree because of the community and the love she felt, finally being seen, but equipped in a way that she felt like she was the only one in the room. Yeah. The second thing for me was we were at the Power Her Forward Girls Conference. And if you are anywhere, this is my fundraising hat, if you are anywhere out there and you want to donate to the Women's Foundation of Genesee Valley, please go to womensfoundation.org. You will see the brightest hot pink donate button. Please donate, even if it's $1 million. You see where I started?
And aim small, miss small, right? You know,
or if it's $5, your $5, $1. They don't make pennies anymore.
No, they took those out.
Snap. Whatever you have to give, we honor you and we thank you for it. So please go to our website and donate. But we were at the Power Her Forward Girls Conference, and it was like our conference starts about like 8:30, check-in happens, and everyone's like off to the races by 10 o'clock. So it's like 11 something, and it is still pretty cool outside because that year it happened in November. And a young girl, had to be probably 14, walks in with a little toddler. And she explained to us that her mom had to go to work and she had to stay home and babysit, because that's the reality of so many across the globe, so many in our nation, so many in Rochester, New York, that mamas are holding it down and the kiddos are helping to babysit the kids so mom can make ends meet. And she walks in with her little brother. He couldn't be any more than 2 years old. And she said she heard about this conference. She knew it would change her life, so she didn't know what to expect. But she knew someone was going to help her here, so she brought her baby brother. And of course, all of us aunties, sisters, everyone in between, we were like babysitter extraordinaires. We were so excited, and she got to be a kid. She got to grow. She got to learn about herself, and to have that reputation, or for someone who is 14 years old, where so many things in the world is speaking to them, they could have just stayed home and watched some TV that day. But she knew there is something there that's going to help me grow, and I'm willing to put on my jacket and walk like for a very long distance with my brother, because I trust that there are safe people there. That, for me, did it. that did it for me. So
Instant validation.
that's instant.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like,
If you ever need a moment where you're like, am I on the right path?
that was, and the way how we like loaded her up with all the goodies, and we all just gave her words of inspiration. Like, do you know what you just did? And we're crying. She's looking at us like, are you okay? We're like, we love you so much. We're so proud of you. That was just like the moment. So I don't know. Is there any moments for y'all that's like, yeah, the Women's Foundation, this is it?
I feel like there's not a defining moment, right? So I joined the Women's Foundation board literally within weeks of my daughter being born. I'd been a volunteer for several years before that on a few different committees and joined the board. And I remember bringing my daughter to one of my first board meetings because I was on maternity leave, still nursing. And I just think about that journey of like, for so many out there, like the moment that you become a parent uniquely to a daughter, right? Like, not that that's like sometimes to the women in the room who are raising young daughters, it's a uniquely fun experience, right?
Stressful.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I didn't know that you could be my broke best friend and also hate me. Like, but
You're always like,
all the things,
like,
all the
time.
identities.
Oh
But
my God.
there has been so much over the last 8+ years that has been defining moments, but probably the call out of that journey. And I've really loved to bring my daughter through the journey with me, which has been awesome. She's been a model for Purse for Change. She
like
came to her first
member.
gala. She can't wait to come. Yeah, exactly. Can't wait to come to girls' conference. She's 7 going on 17, so she'll be there soon enough. But probably my favorite moment was the year that we were able to announce our sort of mission and vision rebrand.
Yes.
That is a pillar for me that kind of in this journey kind of goes without parallel, right? Because all things kind of come after that. A lot of momentum, sisterhood, realignment of programs and what we do, and just feel like that was a fork in the road, if you will, for us, and have just kind of loved the journey we've been on since.
We stood on business.
We did a lot of work. That was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
And it was so revealing in the most special way.
Yes.
And I think about it a lot, like what kind of work that took for all the people in the room to do that and to have that launch point. And I mean, talk about the steps that lead up to the end game. And then that was really the jump off, right?
Yeah.
In so many different ways. So I echo all that. I think for me, when you talk about the immersive graduations, as you know, I don't cry a lot in public. I try not to actively.
I'm a crier.
Big crier, not so much a crier. And those graduations, what the cohort said, I think the most special thing in a lot of ways about the Women's Foundation is, as a donor, you are both very much planting seeds and seeing those seeds come to fruition. And you're doing that through dropping seeds in the bucket of education. So for the conference, the girls' conference, and for Immersive, you are really investing in Rochester's future business owners, philanthropic leaders in so many ways across the spectrum of age. And that is really beautiful. And also, you are seeing what that has done when the girls' conference happens and when the graduation for Immersive happens. And those graduations unlocked, even more so than I already had. My foundation is education. It is where I grow from, where I live. And seeing the women in our cohorts express the gratitude of what that experience meant, not just in the skills that they learned, but the connections made and the deep vulnerability that was felt throughout the 5 to 8 months that they were participating in this program. It was unlike anything else I've had an opportunity to be a part of or felt. And I'm just deeply grateful that the group was willing to not just share that with us, like on the sideline, but was standing up there, like chest out, ready to go. And I just remember Alyssa and sharing like her mission and presenting it and just what she said and how she said it.
Yes.
Transformation. And just that unlocking, I think, for all of us in that room happens because of this programming, this sisterhood, this mentorship. And that's just really special. So I think that's where my big love in this work really, really lives is with those graduations.
Love it. We're about to close out and go into our fun rapid fire segment. But before we close out, anything you want to share to the hopeful watching, to someone either looking for funding or someone who just needs inspiration, or for that young girl who just hit play today? What do you got for her?
Oh, that's heavy. I'm still like goose pumping from my reliving of graduations. I don't have like a lot of prophetic things, right? Like, you know, when I look back on different like moments in my life where like things could have gone a different way, right? I think about like the people that I'm surrounded with, and I'm so grateful every day for the Women's Foundation. So whether you are looking for that type of family outside of your family, right, or you're looking for that type of experience, the Women's Foundation could be your answer, right? We'd welcome you with open arms if in any capacity that you want to be with, but find your Women's Foundation, right? Yes. Find your community, find the thing that is going to be impactful for you in different ways, and then to lift your sister along the way with it. Right. So whether it's here or otherwise, I guess that's what I'll leave you with.
I love it.
Yeah, I'd echo that same thing. I think community will save us, and our ability to be vulnerable and trust in that community will save us. And so I totally agree. If you are looking for that, if you feel like you're trying to figure out what that means for you, what are your values, and find where those values line up with another person, and then go with that person and find the organization, the space, the group, the wherever third place environment that you feel that alignment of values. And it takes work, it takes consistency, but you will find a home there. And it is a really incredible experience when you do. And I know we're both really lucky to have found that in the Women's Foundation. And so that's what I'd say is like, figure out what your values are, find someone else who's got them too, and find a space where you get to live those out loud every time you're there.
They can. If you want to get involved, we're going to have some fun time. But if you want to get involved in the Women's Foundation, please go to our website at womensfoundation.org. There is a section where you can volunteer, where you can donate, and you can also partner. This year, at the time of this recording, we do have our Girls Professional Development Day that's coming up on April 11th. We do have our Girls Conference, which is May 2nd, and we have a few law enforcement days that are coming up. We also have a very snazzy and fancy gala that is coming up at the end of September. So if you want to participate, if you want to volunteer, we also need sponsors for our event. So if you are another foundation around locally or abroad or globally, if you are a corporation that you want to get involved with all the love that we have here, please give us a call, please email us, and we will set up a chat, because we want to connect with other people who love people. Absolutely. All right. So, you ready for...
No.
I was like, I'm not sure what we're on.
Oh my God.
Weird. Our time is up.
It's getting weird. All right. Who would most likely reply? And you got to do like quick response. Okay. Who is most likely to reply to an email at midnight?
You. Crystal Ellis.
Yeah. Or call you.
Yeah. More likely call.
I love 3 a.m. conversations.
They are fun. I've had several with you over the years.
I'm like, hi. Like, could be legit sleep. Hey, like.
So, Crystal. Yes.
Yes.
Rapid
Crystal.
fire.
Yes,
Who is most likely to know the lyrics to every song?
Ooh, Audrey. I was going to say, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. It's
Audrey.
solid. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Across
Okay.
genres.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. What is you think is the best go-to comfort food for a long board meeting?
Oh, Boula's.
Rulas.
No, you're
Shout
exactly
out.
right.
Yeah, shout out
Rula's
Rulas.
Greek sweets.
Yeah.
Yes.
We live for your food.
Yeah.
Like
lemon
you're our.
potatoes.
Lemon
Bob-
potatoes.
I'm gonna tag y'all, by the way. I'm
Sweet
like,
copita.
Yes. Oh my
Here's
god.
so
Lentil
good.
soup, quarts on quarts on quarts.
Yeah.
this is it. Finish this sentence. All right, both of you could give. Sisterhood means always having someone who will.
Show up.
Yeah. Fight with and fight for you.
Let's go. Let's go. We
My
get
sister's listening to this right now and be like, that tracks.
we get scrappy around here. Okay. Would you rather never see Rochester snow again,
I know what you're gonna say.
or would you rather have? Yeah, would you rather not see Rochester snow again, or would you rather have 3 seasons of snow?
Oh,
And then you get our beautiful springs and some springs and whatever.
oh, it's so hard.
If that even makes sense. But you know what I'm saying.
You would either have like there'd be no more snow
No
forever,
more snow.
or you'd have 3 seasons of snow.
I
think
getting rid of
no
ice
more
snow. Yeah, sorry.
I'm not a snow. I don't do things on snow.
I'd like snow. I think I would like snow more if it wasn't always accompanied by darkness.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
sure.
maybe the other seasons of snow would
Yeah.
round the clock where I didn't feel like it was snowing and I lived in a cave. So
I'm a Rochester born and raised,
Same.
and I'd say no snow only because I have not learned in my 36 years of life how to enjoy it yet.
yeah.
So someone can show me.
I've always said New York summers make up for New York winters. So it is like a blink and you miss it kind of thing. But
Okay.
I would give it up. I would give it up.
Would you rather have a parrot that tells all your business in your house, or you have like 25 guinea pigs that you have to take care of in your home?
Did you see how scared I got when you said all the secrets in your? I was like, no, that's a no.
Are you 25 guinea pigs?
I think I'm 25 guinea pigs, which feels bad to make that choice. But I knew someone who has a pet guinea pig, and they look really cute. And if they have like their own area that, you know,
Yeah.
and then people could come and visit them.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, come and see
I'm
this.
getting like weird vibes from Dr. Dolittle with the guinea pig that has the massive eyes. And I'm like, I don't know. But your home needs to be a safe space. And that parrot can't be telling all your tea.
business.
Facts.
Yeah.
Our last one. If the Women's Foundation were a movie, what genre would it be?
Okay. Can I combine a couple?
Yeah.
I'm going to say action, thriller, and rom-com.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like buddy comedy with
Yes.
action
Yeah.
baked in.
For sure.
I
for sure.
think.
Total agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
would
what
say
was it?
thriller.
Ocean's 8? What was the
Yes.
one with like Mindy, Rihanna, the
Oh,
whole
yes.
cast on
Yeah.
there, but like add like a fun, like really beautiful platonic romance
Yes.
angle plus the
Ooh.
action.
Whoever's a filmmaker, you need a story. Call us.
Crystal's on your callback list.
Call us. Well, we have come to the end of our time, and thank you so much for tuning in to Who's in Your Contacts, where culture, collaboration, and all types of great things collide. And until next time, I love you, and remember, no matter what you see, what's going on, find someone and love them well, because love is a currency well spent. Till next time.
Hey friend, thanks for tuning in to Who's in Your Contacts, where culture, connection, and collaboration collide. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen so you never miss an episode from your favorite business bestie, Crystal Ellis. By the way, want some Crystal exclusives or a chance to work with her? Visit elliskconsulting.com to drop a note or follow her on Instagram @theculturebroker. See you next time, and remember to show up as the best version of yourself today.